Hey y'all, welcome to episode 222 of Consignment Chats. 2222222.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a good topic to talk about today. We're going to talk about why we just don't care.
Just don't care.
Just don't care.
I don't care. Do you care?
I don't care.
All right.
No, I do care. But I got to care about the right things. And we're going to break that down and tell you more about it. I'm going to let you hold on the edge of your seats and be like, what are they talking about? And first, we're going to talk about our weeks.
All right.
What's up, girl? Hey, y'all. Welcome to Consignment Chats. This is Molly, and I'll be joined by my co-hosts, Libby and Samantha. All right.
I was finishing out my week 12 of the 12-week year.
Yes.
And I needed to hit my listing goal because it had been 3 weeks that I didn't because I had technical issues and then we were traveling and it was just, I needed to prove to myself that I could do it. And I buckled down and I did it. And I'm feeling awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And I already sold 2 of those items I got from the auction in that steamer trunk, the Victorian clothing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a little motivation. That's all the excitement I have.
If you guys want to know what she's talking about, our live last Wednesday, so the most recent live, turned into an unboxing for all of us. We showed what we sourced and we were listing, and it was so much fun.
So if you want to see, you got to go back and watch that one. Go watch that one. And you can see because, it was fun. I saw one of them sold. So I sold some things for my yard sale I went to Saturday, and we're recording on Monday, so you'll be seeing this on Tuesday. So give you our days there. And I was telling Samantha about it, and I was like, it was ho-hum. We got there, and it wasn't that good. I mean, it was a beautiful neighborhood. You thought, oh, this is going to be a good one, right? This is going to be a good one.
They never are.
And I went out going, okay, I'm really not finding any great bangers, or we spent under $20 at a community yard sale. Never happened in my life. Never.
Ouch.
And 2 of the items I had purchased for myself. So anyway, in the end, I ended up loving it though, because the stuff I bought, I was able to come home. I got it listed. The video is out. You can watch it. And I ended up 2 of the items that I bought that I listed sold with less than 24 hours.
No.
She goes, well, it wasn't that great, but everything's already listed and I've already sold 2. The one thing sold in like 3 hours and then this one sold. And I'm like, what? It sounds like it was fantastic.
I can't wait to watch the video. I mean, I should know, but I was kind of incommunicado this weekend. So I've missed a lot of going on in my own store. Yeah.
So you got to watch the video, but they weren't bangers. Let's not get it twisted, but they were good things that I will pick up over and over again when I see them. One of the 2 that sold was one of the items I actually purchased personally thinking I wanted it. And then when I got home and did the comps, I was like, let me throw it up and just see what happens.
And guys, that's what it's like thrifting with Molly. 1 for me, 1 for the store, 1 for me, 1 for the store. I don't know. I think I'll get these. They're my size. I kind of like them. Yes, I have about 20 in this size of these kind of boots, but you know what? I don't have this shade of blue.
I didn't have that shade of blue boots when I bought them.
That's what it's like.
Blue boots. Those were my first pair of blue boots that I bought.
So true. So true. Well, I do that a little bit. So when we went thrifting in Canada the other day and discovered some new little thrift places, and picked up a couple things, and Bill goes, where are you going to put that in the house? And I'm like, on my shelf so I can look at it. And he goes, oh, great. And I said, and then I'm going to price it for this amount. And he's like, why are you pricing it? And I'm like, I will enjoy it on the shelf until it sells.
But I'll enjoy the money just a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So, wrapping up the 12-week year, had me this week doing a lot of looking back on it, like thinking, okay, it's the first time we've ever done this. Did I do much better? Yes. Did I do what I wanted to do? No, I didn't hit those 100% high marks, but I felt good. And what it really did when I went on this kind of review of how I felt about the last 12-week year year
one
2025 is that it got me real excited for year 2 and starting to plan that. And I was so excited and got so into it that I started being more productive those 2 particular days, meaning the last couple of days. And then when we ended up our week sales, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know if you remember way episodes back when I was all pumped trying to get that. I'm going to hit $1,000 in a week. I'm going to hit $1,000 in a week. 700 is my stretch goal for my sales every week. Cause you know, I'm more part-time than these ladies are with what I list and sell. But I got so into it that when I got my pay, I was like, I was over $900. And I was like,
good job. I know we were.
What the heck has been going on in North Carolina?
Where did that come from?
Love it.
Where did that come from?
I need to know from our people, that's you people right now listening and watching this. Part of my tactics, I am going to add some consignment trats goals into my next 12-week year. And I'm wondering if I should do, I guess I would call it an unboxing, but it'd be more like a what am I listing this week kind of thing, and have a video every week showing whether it's consignment, I thrifted it, or whatever, just kind of what I have lined up for the week. Like this week, I'm working on car parts. This week, I'm working on, jeans from 3 consigners, or, effing pants, that kind of thing. So
why did you call them jeans and not effing pants?
Effing pants. They're always effing pants. So,
by the way, my sales last week, I thought about you because in those sales that I just spoke about, there were so many pants that sold.
Oh,
really? Pants.
Bill probably pulled like 4 or 5 pairs of effing pants today. So, I mean, that's why every time I'm struggling and Libby's like, why do you even accept clothes? Why do you accept pants? And I'm like, because they sell.
They sell.
So let me know if you would like to see what I'm working on each week and make that like a regular thing of like consignment unboxing, or just in general, what am I listing this week?
We're going to call it Samantha's Sorting with C-Chats.
Oh, that's cute.
Seriously.
I like that. So then Molly has her thrift and flip road trip, your thrifting video. Samantha will have her Samantha Sorts. I have my reseller reflection. We all got our own like things going on here.
Wow.
It's pretty flipping cool. And I have to say, my reseller reflection people have requested that I show what I'm listing or selling. And
you'll be stepping on Samantha's toes.
Right. So no, this is perfect.
No,
so
I love
Samantha will be giving them what they want, and I won't have to.
All right. There we
go.
It.
Now I still wanna do a little like what do we got this week on our live, because that was a lot of fun last week. So I mean, the great thing about Wednesday is we're always getting ready to come list with us with our friends in Patreon. So we always have stuff around us of like, what are we going to list this afternoon? So if they want a little bit of that, they can tune in on Wednesdays on our live as well. But yeah, I'm going to Samantha Sorts with C-Chats. All right.
Samantha Sorts with C-Chats.
Did you write that down?
I did.
All right, good.
Samantha Sorts with C-Chats. So, I held back this morning. You know how we talk about, that you have things when you get customers that they send you messages and you want to respond in one way and then you shouldn't. Well, I had that happen this morning. Libby's nervous because
I'm nervous because I have not looked at the messages yet today.
Well, that's because it's on the Conchi NC Poshmark, but I have
Poshmark
bracelet. See this bracelet?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yes.
Okay. So, pictures of the bracelet.
It's bracelet, cuff bracelet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And, I get a message this morning. Are you adding pictures of the actual item?
Oh, because they look like stock photos, I bet.
Your photos are too good.
I responded, these are pictures of the item. I'm not sure what you mean. She said, are these pictures from a website? Can you post pictures of your item? I had wanted to say, no, I shouldn't even say what I wanted to say. I ended up just saying these are from a website. They are the actual item, as I mentioned before. But that was not what I had originally typed out. I had a little bit of snark in my original answer. Nick was like,
why didn't you say thank you for the compliment? I'm glad my photos look so professional.
Well, I did say something like that, and Nick said, it sounds a little snarky. I think you should just reiterate that these are the actual photos and not from a website, because
it probably was a little snarky the way you said it, I'm sure. Yeah.
Snarky. So.
I mean, especially since Nick also heard you over there grumbling, sort of, do these people. So
these are so much for the message. I appreciate the compliment on my photography. This is the actual item. I appreciate you.
So that listing tip, and something that I have to remind myself of too, because those were beautiful photos. They looked great. I do try to put one in with like a regular type background of some sort, just so that they can see, like, I actually have this in my possession. But that is harder and harder these days with all the AI backgrounds, and anybody can make something look like it's sitting on your counter. I could do that with a stock photo too. Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been doing this for years, and I've been using the white background on every single one of my pictures for what, 3 years now since I've been doing that. That's the first time I've ever had anybody say that. So I'm not going to worry about AI or something else. I'm just going to keep doing me, because if I've been that long and only one person has said.
I get people on my Facebook that ask me what my setup is. More so like a year ago or so, and I would have to explain to them what photo room was and stuff, because they'd be like, what kind of lights do you use? What background are you using? And I think a lot of it was like photography people, not necessarily resellers or anything, but yeah, they were just like, how do you get such a good background? And I'm like, this app,
somebody asked that, where do you take your pictures? On the dashboard of my car driving down I-95? What do you want?
Right? We would have been doing really well if we had an affiliate link for photo room.
I've said this over and over again. Photo room, if you're listening, I don't get it.
They're not.
We need an affiliate link, because
our friend Tim flipped the year. He has an affiliate link. I think he's the only reseller with one. And I met with Photo Room, and they seemed great. They never gave me an affiliate link, nor did they give me the $50 they promised.
I was just going to ask about the $50, man. No. I want my $50.
I thought it was a great conversation. I felt fulfilled enough, but they didn't follow through on their end.
You need to be a little more fulfilled, like $50 more fulfilled.
$50 more fulfilled. Yes.
All right. We were talking about things we got. I just want to show this real quick because I love it.
Oh my God, they're beautiful.
Look
at Granny Core Smith apples.
Granny Core Smith. Aren't they cute? I almost left without them, and then I was like, I just have to get them. I just have to grab them.
What would Lizzie of Frizzy Finds? How would she describe those?
Okay, so first of all, Lizzie of Frizzy Finds would never pick them up.
She would never pick them up. She only does clothing.
That's why. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that for like a baby?
No, it's like
collar.
You put it on. No, not me. I got a big neck.
For a baby. See where I went with that? Like that's
natural mink. So yeah.
Love mink.
With a string hanging on a piece of tape. But
all right, so these are all the things we care about. What do we not care about, guys? Right. Come on, let's get it moving here.
She's look at her taking over.
We just want to talk about all the things that we're listing all the time. But
we have Wednesday.
All right. So we have been, let's jump into what we're doing. Add intro. Okay, great. Oh.
She froze.
Dang it.
She was doing a good job.
In the middle of an ice. It's like sunny out, but there's still layers of ice on everything, and it's really screwing things up. All right. So if I'm gone, that's why.
Okay.
We'll try to carry on.
Okay. So here we're at. Here we go, y'all. What? We don't care. What do we not care about? Well, We've been talking on our show and as guests on other shows about going to Boss Reseller Remix. We talk about our Patreon and our awesome community. We talk about the importance of building a community of other like-minded resellers because it's so important for you personally, emotionally, for your business growth, for, I don't know, jumping girls, whatever I'm missing here. It's very important. We believe it. We drink the tea, we drink that Kool-Aid, and we will tell everybody, please, please, please find your people. But one of the things that we see happens when you find your people, when you're home alone and you don't have your people, you're just going about your day and you're just doing it and you're feeling good about what you're doing. And when you get people and you start talking and sharing, that horrible thing can happen called comparing. Did y'all hear my rhyme? Did you hear my rhyme? You start talking and sharing, and that horrible thing starts happening called comparing.
Oh my.
You're such you will always be a preschool teacher. Always.
You want me to read you a story? Once upon a time.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, let's take Boss, since we're just coming back from Boss. Like, very easy to sit there and go, oh, well, I don't sell on Walmart. Oh, well, my sales aren't like that. And tune it out or start beating yourself up. Like, there's two different things that can happen there. Like, why do they have, like, oh, this person has a warehouse? Well, you know what, this doesn't apply to me, or I'm just not on that level. But there's something to learn from everything.
If you can listen to a whole talk about somebody with their 12 warehouses and their 17 employees and all their stuff. And if you take away the fact of that, maybe they put their tape dispenser is hung right at the top of their desk for their shipping supplies. Oh, that's a great idea. I should hang my tape dispenser. Like, you can take a tiny thing away and implement that in your business and make a big difference in your process. Even if you're never going to sell on Amazon and have an FBA whole thing going on there, there's something.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now because I want to say something and I don't want to forget it.
What?
This reminds me of one of our biggest hot topics when they do eBay things, eBay Open, and they always talk about automotive and sneakers, and people get so upset. And I'm like, why are you getting so upset? Because it's not about what they sell. When they're highlighting them, there's stuff to be learned about what they're saying. And the problem is, because they think they don't relate, they tune them out. And then they get on, well, why is it auto parts and not clothing and da-da-da-da? But I have listened to all of those, and every single time I listen to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, who knew? I had no idea.
When Adam Ireland explained that last Boss 2023, there was one of the opening things. He talked about Ken, our friend Ken, the Hustle Bee, and that's when #ThanksKen was developed, because he talked about how, okay, Ken does all this stuff with sneakers, and he has such a high level of sneakers, and they're going to do the authentication with sneakers. They're going to do certain shipping with sneakers. They're going to do like live sales with sneakers, all the stuff with sneakers. So many people groan and go, oh, I wish you'd do that with jeans, or I wish you'd do that with whatever. And but he explained, though, okay, well, we have to start somewhere and test it. And Ken is our guinea pig. Does is $75 a good price point to do authentication automatically for all sneakers? Is this and then that way they can roll it out to other places. Right. So yeah, there's always something that they can play with and pay attention to, and then apply it everywhere.
Right. Yeah. So the whole big thing to me is trying not to compare when you're meeting other people and you're listening to what they're saying and you're listening to what they're doing. In our Patreon meetings, I have to stop myself.
Oh, yeah. When
Libby goes on and on about her, I did this and this, and not on and on. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I
was like, wow, okay.
Not negative way, but because she does it.
Libby's always over there talking, and we're always like, oh, Libby's talking.
But she goes and she's talking about all the things that she's doing, and she's like, okay, I didn't even walk today. Like,
right.
And so you have to Stop yourself. That's not the part you care about. And I do. And Libby is my witness. Tell her all the time, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. And I'm so happy for everybody when they have their wins. And that's where you need to stop it. Like, be proud of them and happy for them when they have their wins. And don't let it go deeper than that to start going, but I didn't, but I don't, but I can't.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to interject something that I think is very, very relevant to this. It is something Molly and I have disagreed on vehemently in the past.
Ooh.
It's jealousy.
Vehemently.
It's jealousy.
Ooh.
And, I think it's probably one of the strongest emotions that anybody can have. And, I always thought of it as a bad thing. Like, you want to avoid it at all costs. But jealousy is that, let's say you're sitting there and you're like, gosh darn it, like, why does she have all the, success? And like, I can't believe she built, and you find yourself doing that. You find yourself comparing, you find yourself being jealous. There's a super important lesson to be taught there. It has nothing to do with the other person. You know what that jealousy is telling you? It's telling you what you want. It is a very strong signal from the universe that is something you want. Otherwise, you would not have those feelings. You would not be jealous. Now, are you willing to pay the price for that? That's the next step in consideration. But right. I believe jealousy is a very, very strong indicator. And, if you find yourself being jealous, do yourself a favor and stop and ask why, because the universe is telling you something very important about what you want.
Yeah, you got to flip that into motivation. Like, okay, you're jealous. That's fine. We all, okay, we all went to Boss and a lot of people weren't able to. And we've had so many people say, oh, I'm so jealous of you. Or, oh, I'm so frustrated that I didn't get to go this year. I'm not in my business, so I couldn't afford it the way that I should be able to. The shoulds, the coulds, the would, all that. Flip it. Start hosting a meetup in your area, or join a meetup in your area, or start the steps. And then what do you need to grow your business so that you have that fund for next year when everybody else is at Boss and you can join them?
Or start a GoFundMe.
No.
The first year I went to Boss, I literally took how many days were left before we had to go, before we went. And I broke it down by how much I needed to save every single day. Like, it was that. So like, what are your next steps if you're jealous and you want to do that? You might look at that number and say, oh, $5, if that's more than I can handle right now, I'm not willing to pay the price of that. Yeah. Okay. So you might say, heck yeah. See you in Vegas.
Baby.
So also go to consignmentchats.com, find our listing calculator, watch last week's episode where we talked and walked you through visually how to do the listing calculator. And that can also help you reach those goals so you can stop comparing and start hitting your goals and things that you want to do.
I think we need to take the comparison word out and make it an inspiration. Instead of it as comparing, turn it into inspiring. And that's that simple. When you find yourself going, oh, but, stop and say, oh, but I can do that too. I can go to the gym too. I can list all that too. I can.
Yeah.
And the other thing that like really is, the next step, let's say you find somebody that's doing what you want to do. And it's not jealousy. Like, you want to find somebody that is steps ahead of you, that is doing what you want to do, because you can learn so much from them. I mean, my personal example is absolutely Scavenger Life and Scavenger Life podcast. When I took my business from a storefront and online, like a hybrid model, to all online, every intention to reopen a storefront, because I did not know I could make a full-time living selling online. Like, we're talking 10 years ago at this point. So it wasn't like that common of a thing.
Right.
I did not know I could do that. And it was only because Scavenger Life put out their podcast. They talked about what they do. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. Like, they're setting the example. And that was awesome to have them. I mean, they didn't know they were my mentors, but they were.
Right.
Yeah. And I think Jason, the CNT swapper, did an awesome job at Boss of like living that out, connecting with, help me out here, Crystal Mouse, right?
Oh, yes.
Like she has like a warehouse similar to what he is striving for. Like find somebody that's done it and done something similar to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So
when we're in these communities, we're hanging out with these people, what things should we care about?
Well, I think you want the reason we say it's a fine line is because you want to care enough to look at your numbers and measure how things are going and like know what's going on, whether it be your reselling business, whether it be, you know, maybe you're growing a YouTube or a podcast or whatever that is. You still want to pay attention and make sure you are growing and getting to the goals you want, but you don't want to care too much at the point. I mean, we get in our own heads all the time. It's every other week. We're like, oh, why don't we have more followers? And then we remind ourselves, like shout out to Mike Metco meetups, because Mike commented on some of he joined us at the tail end of our live last week. And then he commented on our live before that and just really reminded us. He said, we are his people. And he was happy to meet us and be involved with us. And that right there, we don't need to grow fast. We're finding all the right people. We have amazing Facebook community and amazing Patreon. We love everybody in here that watches and comments on these. Like, it's okay. We don't need those big play buttons and all that fancy stuff because we have the right people. But we have to remind ourselves of that all the time. Like, care enough to like, okay, are we still growing? People are still watching and commenting. We still have goals and growth.
Right.
But not caring to the point where we're not just going to go out there and do all those crazy, ridiculous scare tactics to get all the fake followers and all that too.
Mm-hmm. Like we know our why. We know why we do this. Like, do you know your why? And when you do, it makes comparison kind of fall off, because like my why could be way different than Samantha's why.
Oh yeah.
And the comparison just doesn't, like, there may be things Samantha's doing that I can learn from. Well, there are things, I shouldn't say there could be.
We learn from each other all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
All the time.
But we also have different circumstances. My husband pays our mortgage. So that's $1,000 a month that I don't have to worry about making. And I have different goals when it comes to my reselling business. Libby, on the other hand, she does have to pay her rent. Like, that's pretty important to her. So she has different goals when it comes to that too. So we find ourselves caring a little too much and comparing. And then it's like, no, cheer each other on.
Yes. You need to care. You care about building an authentic relationship with those people, care about their successes, care about who they are and what they do for the community and the world. Care about all those things, but don't compare.
Yeah. And I mean, if you may be in the wrong community, like I've been in wrong communities, and, you know, it has gone both ways, where I did not feel comfortable sharing my numbers because people would start comparing, and then they would get nasty. Or not try to knock you down, and just a hot mess. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons that I don't share numbers that we don't generally share numbers publicly, is because people get into that comparison headspace and they feel less or more, or, you know, whatever we do that in our Patreon because we're with the right people and we're comfortable. So, you know, we know each other's goals. We're there to celebrate each other's wins, doesn't matter whether it's more or less than me. I don't care. Like, what's you're doing what you need to do.
We get down and dirty in our Patreon group. They know all the things. But yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point in a lot of aspects. So, I mean, I've previously talked about how I have gastroparesis. My stomach is paralyzed. That comes with a whole gamut of other health issues and diseases. I did not
watch our episode on autoimmune disorders, because it is awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I did not surround myself with the right groups and the right people in the beginning of my diagnosis. I mean, it took me forever just to get diagnosed. And then once I did, I joined all the Facebook groups and all the things. And oh my gosh, some people just want to be miserable. So make sure that you are checking the things you're in. There's eBay groups like that. There's things where it doesn't matter who says what. Some people just want to be miserable. They're always going to be negative. They're always going to bring you down. And I thoroughly believe that part of the reason I was so depressed in the beginning of my diagnosis was because of the communities and things that I had put myself into. Those people never wanted to be happy. They didn't want to get better. They didn't want to heal, or, I mean, I can't be healed, but they didn't want to try and live this lifestyle. They just wanted to wallow in the fact that they were diagnosed and all the stuff they had. So
when I first got into one of them, I literally thought, oh my gosh, my fingernails are going to fall off. My arm is going to hang to the left, and I'm going to be like,
yes,
the whole, like, everything. My this and my that, and my skin's gonna. Oh, it was.
Yes, yeah. My cousin was diagnosed with the Hashimoto's, which I believe you have as well. And she was like, my eyes, my hair. Oh my god, and I'm like, calm down, it's okay.
It was the funniest thing. Like, I have the hiccups. Do you think it's from Hashimoto's? Like, that's the stuff they would write. Oh my gosh, you poor thing. Oh, hiccups. Like,
yes. Yes.
So one of the things that I did, I guess it was in 2024, was I changed my barometer for how I measure if a group is right for me.
Yeah.
If a person is, like, it goes down to the personal level, the people in my life, who are the people that you want to have. And my test is very simple. Are you going to celebrate the wins with me? It's not, are you going to wallow with me when something goes wrong? Yep. It is, are you going to celebrate? Because that is next level, somebody that can celebrate the wins with you. And that is what we wholeheartedly embrace in our group. Like, we want to celebrate your wins with you. Yes, we'll give you a boost up. And just like you guys give us a boost up when things aren't going great. Yes, absolutely. That goes without saying. But it's next level when you feel comfortable that somebody is just going to cheer you on and celebrate and say, what worked for you? Let's celebrate you.
And that doesn't mean that there can't be negative times. You can't vent. You can't say, man, today sucked. This happened. This was terrible. It's the fact that once you get all of that out, you get to just say, oh, this happened. And you get to tell all about it. Then you are surrounded yourself with people that are going to say, okay, that did suck, like, a lot. Yeah. What are we doing next? What are you doing? What didn't suck today? What? Yeah. And we take turns doing that for each other in our community. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. But it's still a safe place. It makes it an even better and safer place to have and go and cry and vent and say, I had all these things, because it's only going to last for a minute, and you have everybody to boost you up.
There's no crying in Patreon.
There's no.
Actually, there is a lot sometimes. Happy tears, sad tears.
We've had
there's been a lot of tears.
Personally, I'm a crier. So yeah, there's all the emotions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of do. Yeah, we kind of do.
But when you feel safe like that, you don't need to worry about comparison. Like, it takes it off your, it just takes it off your plate.
Yeah, 100%. I'm wondering if we just lost Samantha because
she got iced out.
It got dark real quick and then she froze. So I'm thinking the dark part was the power going out.
Yep. She is iced out. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that funny? Now she's just gonna be frozen there with us moving forward.
Should I keep her frozen or should I take her off the screen?
I was gonna say, I guess I could remove her.
There you go.
Now, sorry, Samantha.
Oh, poor Samantha.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Anyway. All right. Well, I think this is good because I think everybody needs to find that group. And I think you need to find that group that when you do start comparing, they're going to tell you, stop it.
I mean, here's another thing comparison can do is it can prevent you from, it can absolutely prevent you from taking steps forward. Like 100%. I'm going to use my spin class as an example because I had to really humble myself to go in there not knowing what the hell I was doing.
You were
in horrible shape just to start because I was like, oh, well, Dave, he does, 10 miles a day, every day on his bike and he's outdoors and, Sue is like amazing and she's been doing this for years, and the other one is training to be an instructor, and it was like I was just comparing and comparing and comparing, and that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But when I took the step, you know what? Those people were there absolutely to help and support and cheer me on. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that comparison, it was a tough thing to get past for me.
Yeah.
And
it was true story, y'all. True story. Am I going to be this open? I guess worst case scenario, I can edit it out if I decide I don't want to say.
Okay. All right.
But true story, I didn't want to go to Boss this year. Libby will know because I called her and I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And the whole thing was because health-wise, I wasn't where others were. And I felt like I would be holding everybody back and I wouldn't want to go and I would be miserable and I really shouldn't go. And that was the comparison headspace that got so into me that it literally had me having serious conversations with my husband about not going. I don't want to go. What can we do about the flight? I just am not going to do it. And that was horrible. And then I had a talk with Libby and then she jumped my tail and I went and had the absolute best time ever and didn't miss a beat or slow down for anything. So
as somebody who loves you, like that just about that breaks my heart to think you would even think that.
Well, that's where I was with my knee issues and everything.
People that love you want to be there, want to support wherever you are on the journey. Like that's crazy talk to me.
Yeah. But that, in all honesty, is where I was when I talked to you 2 weeks prior. I really didn't want to go because I felt like I was, and that is so not who I am at all. I'm a people person. I want to party. I want to go. But for some reason, that comparison thing got in my head with all the people I was going to see and where they were and what they were doing and I started comparing and it was eating me alive. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? What if I would have missed out on all that because I let that crap in my head win?
I'm so glad you didn't. And like, I think about like experiences like this, like me talking about the spin class, you talking about Boss, put me in a better headspace. Like when somebody new joins our group, because I know exactly what that feels like. Like, yeah, it might be a little intimidating. Yeah, it might be. But, we've been there obviously very recently, both of us. And it does make you able to empathize and connect a little bit better and realize the guts and the confidence and the, leap of faith the new people joining our group are taking. And it just makes you appreciate them even more because we know it's not easy. It's not easy to jump into a group.
No.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad because it is without fail that every new member goes through a point in the first couple of weeks where they'll say, well, I'm not sure if I'm right here because you guys are all so much further ahead than I am. And
every time.
And then I'm going to put my hand up and then Molly's got to get on the whole don't compare train and jump all over them. And then I feel bad because I was like, we just had a new member not long ago. And then after I'm like, do you think she's going to come back? I wasn't too harsh, was I? Like, don't compare. And I mean it in such a loving way. Like that is not our group. We do not compare. We are so proud of every single person, whether you are I list 2 things a day or I list 100 things a day.
Or heck, if you can just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Like Samantha. Step number 1, you show up consistently. Yay.
Just showed back up. Look at that.
I couldn't figure out why all of a sudden the room was real dark and you guys weren't talking.
Her power went out. Look at her. Samantha's at Spring Yet. She put on her thing. If you're on podcast, she changed her name on our screen to Samantha is at Spring Yet because her power went out. We might have just lost her again. She's frozen. We'll give her a sec. Say it again, Samantha. Say it again.
So with that break, I got to check my phone, and one of our Patreon members has a brick and mortar store. She had to go to the hospital today, get some testing, antibiotics, all that stuff. But she just sent us a message about what a great marketing morning it's been for her because she gets to talk to everybody
everybody she encountered at the hospital. There, I'm going to totally finish
that sentence for her. We know what she's saying.
Yeah.
Way to go, Carmen.
Encounter.
Northern Bargains is bringing it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Samantha's now pouting because she keeps getting frozen and cut off, and she is not happy that her voice is not heard and strong here. So
if we could just not use the word frozen, that would be great.
I've told you there's houses for sale here in the Greensboro, North Carolina area. I've told you. Now Libby walked away. What is happening today? Now
Libby is getting
off screen.
Libby has been doing her water intake appropriately.
She's gotta go potty, and now you're gonna freeze, and it's gonna be Molly. Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on? All right. Well, I think we have done a good job breaking down the difference between caring and comparing, because there is a line, and we want you to care about the people that you meet in this community. We want you to care so much that you create a community, because it is priceless when you have one. So we want you to care about that, but we want you to be careful that you continue to care and not compare.
So much caring. Turn the comparing into inspiring.
Yes, inspiring. Let it inspire you. Let what others do inspire you, because no matter what level they're at, they've got something to inspire you with.
Absolutely.
All right. Until next time. Cheers. Look, we all three got back on the screen for the toast.
And we didn't interrupt you too much.
Well,
I did before you came in. I handled it, Samantha.
That's because nobody quite knew what was going on, because half the time one of us is gone during this episode. It was so crazy takes.
Thank you for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we grow your reselling business. For all things Consignment Chats, visit us at consignmentchats.com and join our free private communities on Facebook and/or Patreon.